to say before we go any further, I think it was last week. Last week I was at home, working, and my phone rang by someone. Couldn't deal with the answer the call, and then another mate messaged me and said, "Have you heard about Paul Lawrence?" And I said, "No." I know Paul is always controversial and doing something, so always say, "What has Paul said now?" And then another mate from Jamaica called me and said, "Hey, Sid, have you heard what happened to Paul?" So while I'm working and doing a hearing, I started to do a little research, and I saw the passing of Paul Lawrence. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you do not know, Paul Lawrence is a stalwart within the Jamaican community, and Paul passed away last week. Don't know the cause of death yet, and it has shocked a lot of persons in the community as a result of that. And we want to somewhat give our condolences and tribute to Paul. I know Keem and Keisha, you have engaged with Paul. I've engaged with Paul, and I do have a tribute. And so, any comments you guys want to make regarding Paul?
That's right, Sylbourne. I join with you and everyone else on the panel to send my condolences to the family. It's a great loss, I must say, to the Black community as a whole. Sylbourne, I came to know Paul Lawrence through you, actually. And one of the things I admire about him is that he spoke a lot about empowering young Black boys and training them up and just imparting wisdom and knowledge into them. And I was really inspired by that, especially when at one point he wrote this book. It's the 101 Lessons I Taught My Son. And as soon as I heard he published that book, I was one of the first of the people who was quite who really wanted to get their hands on a copy of that book. And the reason why is not only because he wrote it, but also because I've got a young son, and I'm always very much impressed by somebody who will go out their way to encourage other people and to teach other people as to how to raise their child or mentor young boys, Black boys in particular. He's a larger than life character in the Black community, and I'm sure like most, he'll definitely be greatly missed.
Yes. Thanks for that. And who should I go to? Let me just move this picture here. And Keisha.
Yeah. Kima. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, so Paul Lawrence, everybody know his, as Keisha mentioned, a larger than life character. I mean, he's be sorely missed. I mean, time to time I go through my timeline, and if I don't see his comment, or if he comments, then it's at least something that you listen to, or even open your ears and say, not sure I agree. Sometimes it's he challenged your opinion, challenge your viewpoints to the world. Of course, there's a lot of things that him and I we don't agree with in terms of politically, but he was not afraid to question, why you support Boris, why you support the Conservative, and he will put his thoughts out there. And there's not many people who will be so bold and brave to say and speak up for the community. So he will be sadly missed, and his character is beyond, his personality is beyond. It's all over the timeline. So when his passing was such a shock for everybody. So condolences to him and his family.
And David, I don't know if you had any direct interaction with Paul.
No, I never met him. I'd heard of the projects that he'd been involved in, sort of 100 Black Men of London, and the mentoring aspect that we've heard this evening, the empowerment, the economic engagement, that sort of thing is a testament to the person of interest here that we're talking about him this evening. And all you have to do is hear the outpouring of emotions. People are willing to say nothing but positive things about him. That then make you feel that this person was a larger than life character. So Paul Lawrence obviously is in the stars now, and yes, he must rest in peace. And we must celebrate the fact that he achieved so much within the Black community. And this, I think, it's the degree of positivity that is sorely going to be missed here. I think in terms of engaging with young people. And trying to empower them, to trying to move them forward that's always as a bonus to how you approach a life's journey. And I think obviously he did this, and that should be celebrated.
You know, I can speak for myself with Paul, because Paul and I we have traveled many journeys. We were on the team. I asked him to join the team with the airport passenger duties, where we were challenging the airlines in respect of the exorbitant airfares, and we met with the different managers, Virgin, and Paul just said straight to their face. You know what I mean? Things that I wouldn't say, Paul said. And
good cop, bad cop.
Yeah, and also Paul is the type of guy that I invite on different things, events that we go to. We have shared platform on Ben TV, and but one thing I'll say though, I never forget this moment, and this was very interesting. We were at this thing at Friend's House. Friend's House is where you have this place in Houston. Al Sharpton was there. Lee Jasper was there, and everybody was there, and Al Sharpton got up and said, "Oh, these conservatives, these black conservatives." And then I said, Paul eyes.
Turning towards you, right?
Yeah, Paul eyes looking at me, and I share the eyes there. There are the eyes. Those are the eyes there. You know, Paul looking over at me and said, "Sylbourne, you know, Paul hate my politics. I will tell you that clearly." As conservative, but
he hates yours and Kiva's definitely, because I could see, you know, I remember.
And he will call it out every time. Either he's got an opinion on something. I wonder what the black, conservatives would say. And at that point, when he says that, you know, it's just time to stop. You know who you're referring to. You know who you're referring to.
I wonder what Sylbourne will say and everything, and I just say, let me just stay away. You know. But the common ground that we had was Jamaica. You know, anything to do with Jamaica, we always cannot see eye to eye there. And I did a tribute to Paul, and the tribute I did to Paul, let me read it. And while I read it, let me read it with one of his image right here, because I believe it's very important that I say this. And let me just find his image. There we are. And what I wrote, I think it was the same day, I wrote, "The light may be dimmed, but it will shine brighter. Tribute to Paul Lawrence, rest in peace. I'm saddened to hear of the passing of Community Stalwart Paul Lawrence. One who has done many a great work within the black community in the UK and the Jamaican Diaspora UK. It was a privilege to work with Paul on various campaigns, especially the lobby for reduced airfares, where he did not mince his words in calling out the airlines. He will always say what you won't say, whether you like it or not. While we may differ politically, we still sat on platform together for shared causes. We have had our rumble jumble in the jungle, but respectfully, it was still good to know that there are alternative voices fearlessly going through, irrespective of the repercussion and kickback effect. Without a doubt, he will be surely missed, but his impact and legacy shall outlive him. Rest in peace, Paul Lawrence." Yeah. So that's my tribute to Paul, and we may pray rest in peace. And you know, guys, one of the things that this is saying to me, you know, irrespective of differences, political ideologies, religious ideology, cultural ideology, it is so important that we find a common denominator. I call it the black element, and we can work together irrespective of what. That's my dream, because sometimes I understand the politics sometimes tear people apart, and we cannot afford for that to happen. Yeah.
And you know, Sylbourne, as I said, we've got more in common, you know, than what tears us apart. So it's like, you know, he was pretty much all for entrepreneurship, mentoring, and it's really his position on the black community, trying to strengthen the black community. I think is ultimately what his goal was, and I think that in itself will unite more people than whatever the differences are.
Yes. Okay, so fantastic. So rest in peace, Paul, and we condolences to his family and everything.